Hi, my name is Franny Fracker, and I'm here to tell you all about it. I saw somebody in my audience just yawn. I didn't even start yet. My Lord. I've been telling you all about hydraulic, horizontal, slick water fracture drilling in the last few episodes of Franny Fracker Tells You All About It. And as you can see, I made some real good notes, and I haven't been following them. So I'm going to do that now because I told you how to spell fracking, and if you're talking to somebody in the industry, make sure that you spell it right, F-R-A-C. If you're not talking to somebody in the industry, we don't care how you spell it. And then I told you about what it is and how it's different from oil fracking. And then I told you how they get that secret recipe down there, and I started telling you about Halliburton. I'll bring that up again. Say that with me once now. Halliburton. All right. And I told you about Governor Hickenlooper going to Detroit to try to get them to say they're not going to make anything but natural gas cars. And if they make natural gas cars, and that's the only kind of car you can buy, that means they have to keep getting the gas. And if they keep getting the gas, they're going to be fracking. So you better find out what fracking is, and I am here to tell you all about it. All right. So we talked about this water being used for the gas, and I told you how they store it in different places and how they keep kind of changing, and I'm waiting for them to start sending it up into space. Did you know that they're trying to get places where they can start doing cargo cruise because they want to go up to the moon and mine it? People are telling me I'm crazy. Mark my words, I won't be here when it starts happening, but I'm telling you, and once they figure out how to get stuff off of this rock, they're going to start shipping all of our crap out to God knows where. All right? Now, here's the one thing I want to tell you about this water thing, all right? Because I have an A, B, C, D, E. I told you the A, B, and the C, and the D. Now I'm going to tell you the E. Much of the wastewater from hydraulic fracturing operations is processed by public sewage treatment plants, which are not equipped to remove radioactive material. And by the way, they're not even required to test for it. All right. What happens if this company does get fined because they did make a boo-boo? Well, fining is considered regulating, but the water that's been contaminated is left contaminated and probably has to be cleaned up by something like a super fund. So the responsibility for the cleanup and the cost of the cleanup, it's kind of difficult to assign who's going to do that. It depends on when it has to be cleaned up. But you don't need to worry about that. All right, according to the regulations of the COGCC, that stands for the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission, and that is the state commission that is responsible for regulating oil and gas. They said that spills of this toxic water measuring 200 gallons or less doesn't even have to be reported. 200 gallons isn't that much, so don't you be worrying about it. Sometimes one of them trucks leak that water. Now, if they're caught leaking it, they're fined. How much? All right, number 3. Isn't hydraulic fracturing considered safe since it's been in use for such a long time? It says that the first use of hydraulic fracturing was in 1947. That was before I was born. Right. And but the modern fracking process called horizontal slick water fracture, horizontal fracture drilling, well, we already went through that. That made the extraction of shale gas economical. And the first use of it was in 1998 in the Barnett Shale in Texas. Now, if people are trying to tell you that this is a safe process, and a lot of people think it is, they'll tell you they've been doing this for 60 years. But what they told me on the Wikipedia, and if they're lying to me, I'm going to be calling Mr. Wiki and giving him some big trouble because it says there the first use was in 1998 in the Barnett Shale. Okay, now here's an interesting thing to find out about. Why is hydraulic fracturing necessary in Colorado? We don't know. All right, number 5. What chemicals are used in fracturing? In the U.S., about 750 compounds have been listed as additives for hydraulic fracturing in a report to the Congress in 2011. You can look up some of the names of them chemicals, but most are considered private and may not by law be revealed to you. Unless you're going to buy Mrs. Fields' cookie recipe, unless you're going to buy the recipe that it takes for you to go and drill a well, you're not going to find out what's in it. Now, If a drilling pipe's carrying fracturing fluid and it's going under your home and it spills under a roadway or something, you're not going to know what's in it. But you don't need to worry about that. Okay? Now here's an interesting thing. If you're involved in a spill, let's hope none of you are hanging out around these wells. Now come on, unless you're working there and you have physical contact with that processed water, you might not know what has been spilled on you. Did I tell you that Governor Hickenlooper drank some fractured fluid? I wonder if he knew what was in it. I have to go now, but I've got a couple more numbers here. I got a number 6 that talks about fracking volume, water, and sand. And got number 7, if I want to lease my land. Number 8, who's responsible if any damage is done. Number 9, what about my mineral rights? And number 10, what's Colorado's Clean Air, Clean Jobs Act of 2012? You're going to have to come back to find out. This is Francis Fracker saying thanks for joining me, and I will see you later. I'm on. Boy, am I ever on. My name is Francis Fracker, and I am here to tell you all about it. Tell you about what? About horizontal, hydraulic, slick water, fracture drilling. Now, I've been coming and telling you some things. Oh, boy, have I been telling you some things for the last few minutes. Because I only get 3 minutes a pop. Because I understand that you all have a hard time concentrating. Well, join the club. Have you ever heard the word menopause? Say that with me once now. Menopause. You want to talk about having a hard time concentrating, but that's all right. I've been getting my information off the Wikipedia, and I don't think I'm making this stuff up, because I'm not. I'm here with my little chicken timer. She tells me when it's 3 minutes, but you know, in the last 20 minutes we've been doing this, she hasn't been working, but I'd still like you to give her a name. So in order for you to do that, all you have to do is get a hold of me, Francis Fracker, at this YouTube address, and tell me what you think we ought to name her other than lame. She's a ticking. I don't know if she's going to be a ringing, but I'm going to tell you now that I so far have told you how to spell fracking, what fracking is, how they do fracking, what they used to do fracking, sometimes how fracking doesn't work. Now, I haven't even gotten close to telling you all about that, but I do want to tell you that it's important that you know about this, because it's going to be happening, and if any of you who are living in Colorado have, pardon me, lived in Colorado for the last year and a half, you'll notice that if you go up and down I-25, that's the main road north and south that runs all the way up from the top of Colorado down to the other end, and you used to drive that 2 years ago and all you'd see is a bunch of cows and some corn and some new housing going in places. Now all you can see are fracking wells. They look really incongruous. They don't look like much. They look like they're just a little, maybe they're storing water or something. Well, they're storing water all right, but they're doing a lot of other things as well. They are wells. They're fracking wells, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to get that oil and gas and some other stuff out of the earth, and they're multiplying like rabbits. They're everywhere. And if you live near where I am and you're near Weld County, they got 30,000 wells pumping away already, and they're planning for about 60,000 more. All right? Can you even think of 60,000? Think of 60. Okay, get yourself a jar of beans and count 60,000 of them. Now make them big and put them all up and down the Front Range. Right. All right? You're going to start getting an idea. Now, well, here's the thing. When they used to do all of this, they used to go out and do this way out in the middle of nowhere. They've been doing it over on the western slope, although that's a different kind of drilling they're doing over there. But they've been doing it for a while now. But they didn't used to come into our backyards to do it. And now they are. And in Colorado, they say they have every right to do that. And that's where we're running into some problems, and that's why people ask me if I knew about this, and that's why I started looking up some information on it, and you need to pay attention to it too, because Honey Boo Boo's going to be there when you get back. So You need to find out because there could be some stuff going on that could be affecting you and your family, and it's definitely going to be affecting your grandchildren. Now, you understand, if you have grandchildren, they're precious. All right? Now, so you need to find out about this drilling. So I've been here to tell you all about it, and if you have some questions, you can certainly get a hold of me here at this YouTubing address. That's Francis Fracker on the YouTube. I don't know how else to tell you. Anybody else going to be able to tell me how people can get a hold of me? I don't know. I'm not telling them where they can call me because you know that'll open up a whole new can of worms. I can be assured that I'll be getting calls in the middle of the night going, Francis, could you tell me what they put in that fracking water? And I'm going to say, for God's sake, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I got to go. Bye. Hi. I was right on there. And he went like this, and I was right there. Hi, my name is Francis Fracker, and I'm here to tell you all about it. And if you have been watching my YouTubing, you will know that I've been talking about horizontal, hydraulic, slick water fracture drilling, and that's a part of a process that they use to get oil and gas out of the ground now, because now they're going into shale horizontally and blowing it up and sucking all that stuff out and separating it and sending it here and sending it there and dumping it here and taking it everywhere. All right. Now what I want to tell you today is that this is how some of this started. Now I can't be, now here's the thing I want to tell you, all right? I'm giving you information. I'm not telling you how to think about it, all right? You go in and find out for yourself. You don't have to believe me. You don't even know me. Hell, my children don't even believe me anymore. So go out and find out for yourself. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe anybody. You don't have to believe the industry. You don't have to believe the president. And you don't have to believe me. Go out and find out for yourself. Make up your own mind. You're a United States citizen, aren't you? You better be. If you're not, you go out and get your green card right now. That's another story. All right, so what I'm going to tell you about now, I'm going to tell you as fast as I can because I got about 60 seconds left, all right? Now, Halliburton's something we talked about real quick in one of our last episodes, all right? Say that with me once now. Halliburton. Halliburton. Does that ring a bell? I'll tell you why. Because back when Bush #2 was president, he had an assistant president, and his name was Dick Cheney. Do you remember Mr. Cheney? He's still with us, bless his heart. He's had 5 of them. All right. He was vice president, and when there was lots of stuff going on, I'm winking at my friend over here who's saying you got a minute left. And no, that wasn't a tick. And I'm not having a stroke. Bingo! And right on time. Dick Cheney, when he was the vice president, he had to give up being the president and CEO of, you'll never guess, Halliburton. But his wife maintained a pretty good job on that. And when all this oil and gas was coming up, the oil and gas people went to Congress and they said, listen, this is such a good idea. We have a way of getting down there and getting all kinds of energy for the United States. And if you just get that stupid EPA off our backs, we'd be able to go out and get it for you. Well, that's what happened. And so they went to Congress and they said, this is such a good idea. Really, really, men and women on Congress, don't you think that it'd be time for us to have a break on this oil and gas thing? Don't you want to get off of foreign oil? Don't you want to be able to build the economy? Don't you want to be able to get jobs? Yeah. And they all went, of course. And so Cheney said, good, because boy, have I got a deal for you. All you have to do is get us some exemptions from all these EPA things. Yeah. And they said, what EPA things? Well, time's up. You're going to have to come back if you want to find out. So this is Francis Fracker telling you to come back and find out about the EPA. Bye.